혼자 사는 여성 혼자 사는 만족도가 여성은 연령에 관계없이 70% 이상이 만족한다는 거예요. 근데 남성은 나이가 많아질수록 이렇게 만족도가 쭉 추락하는.
근데 왠지 모르지만 보면 이제 여자분들끼리는 나이가 있든 적든 굉장히 행복하게 잘 즐기시는 것 같아요. 여행을 가도. 근데 남자끼리 가면은 이제 어느 순간 먹다가 야 우리끼리 뭐 하는 짓이냐. 약간 이런 분위기가 돼버리니까.
처음에 좋게 만났다가.
네.
뭐 한국 사회에서 아무래도 여성한테 결혼으로 인한 뭐 가사 분담 더 높은 것뿐만 아니라 가정을 위해서 많은 것을 희생하는 것 같아요. 네.
That's definitely been the case with my wife.
젖은 손이 애처로워 살며시
When we got married, she had a career as a nutritionist here, and then we had a child, and now she's working part-time. What childcare is valued at? It's seen as something anybody can do that's really easy, just take care of the kids. Whereas if I compare that to my job, and my job required me to have an advanced education and technical experience relative to a typical mother, my job is easy compared to taking care of my daughter for an afternoon. Really easy. And if you look at the actual skills that are involved in childcare, you need to have some outgoing and positive, and you're dealing with people the whole time. It's really way more tiring. It's way more difficult. And yet, if we value that, even if they do that on a scale, it would be like, minimum wage or $24,000 a year or something like that, when it's much more difficult than jobs that pay multiple times that sum of money.
사회 전체가 어떤 돌봄 노동의 가치를 인정을 하지 않고 있고 이 부조리한 거를 이제 젊은 여성들이 보면서 이거 이상한데 나 이거 아예 피하겠다 이런 선택을 하게 되는 거예요.
이게 실제로 저희가 2016년 통계 자료에 따르면 OECD 대한민국 가사 분담률이 OECD 국가들 중에서 최하위 수준이라고 합니다. 남성은 하루에 45분, 반면에 여성은 하루에 227분을.
그러니까 스트레스랑 우울감이
when we complain about, let's say, Korean men not doing enough household work, yeah, sure, but also the workload, like the office time spent in office is so crazily high. So right now, most of the breadwinning task is for the men. German men, for example, do more household tasks is also because they don't have so much more pressure being the only breadwinner. That's also like shared more equally.
그러니까
Well, one of the solutions is getting more flexible hours for both parents working, right? So maybe not working full-time or having a flexible work, being rather than only the dad working like crazy, then that will be more.
But part of the economic organization now of the family is that society in general expects there to be 1.8 or 2 incomes in the family.
Yeah, but one person has to sacrifice for your children.
I totally agree with it. I'm not talking from that side. I'm talking from the income demands to buy a house, to buy an apartment and everything.
But let me just get my point clear. It's always the man who keeps his job. But let's say in my generation, for example, mostly it's the female who are actually more qualified and who would sometimes have higher paying job. So then it makes sense, for example, that the man sacrifice some of his ambitions and if it's not other way possible to be more like the house.
But I was not talking about any of the parents giving up their job. I was talking from the company side that should give the flexibility. That should give the flexibility, and also I think that Korea has one of the most advantageous father leave, paternity leave. On the paper, it's one of the best in the OECD, but then father do not take advantage of it because the companies wouldn't like it. So I think we have to look from the company's side and maybe force them to let the father take the paternity leave that they are allowed in the law to take.
저는 에바 통신호 의견에 정말 찬성하는 게요. 이게 이 결혼 기피하고 아이를 안 낳고 하는 어떤 현상을 극복하는 게 그 현상이 되게 여러 개 연결이 돼 있잖아요. 그쵸. 한국의 굉장히 전통적인 가족 문화와 성의식하고도 연결이 돼 있고 또 뭐 육아 현실하고도 연결이 돼 있고요. 근데 그 전통적인 의식, 가족 문화 이게 안 바뀌어요. 그거 막 캠페인 한다고 해서 쉽게 바뀌지 않는 거고 이거 잘 안 바뀌고 제일 정부에서 지금 투자를 하면 바로 효과를 거둘 수 있는 데가 저는 노동환경 개선이라고 생각을 해요.
그게 직접적이거든요.
제일 직접적이고 제일 효과가 있을 분야예요. 다른 분야보다.